I need a monitor down here so I can see the screen too.
Well, why don't you say something?
Well, I don't know. I just think of it.
Because I can hook you up. Not like right this second.
Yeah.
Because all my shit's out in the van. So I was thinking of actually talking about karaoke. Because we're recording Wednesday instead of tomorrow because I got a show.
Welcome back to the big show, ladies and gentlemen. Take it away, Rob.
But, it's nice to get a new venue. Because no offense to my friends here, but you get the same people singing the same songs. Many of them sing like shit.
Yeah.
And that's not saying any particular person that I know sings like shit. But you get the drunk people in who sing the same fucking songs all the time. And it's like, okay,
sure,
I don't want to hear you anymore.
Sure.
So it's nice tomorrow. They obviously must do this every Thursday because they said their guy backed out last minute.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
No, these are not Sures. I can't even fucking see that. Task cam.
Don't you remember Sure? That guy used to sing down at Woody's.
Oh, yeah. He lives right here.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, older guy, right? He cracks me the fuck up. Actually, God, he might have just passed away.
Oh, really?
But he'd come down to Bucks. And
I haven't seen him since the Woody's days.
Oh, yeah. No, he'd come down to Bucks. And you can see he's got cataracts really bad, right? And so he'd sit there and talk about smoking weed for his cataracts. And he lives in one of the special needs houses around town here. And so he'd always say, I'm waiting for my wife. And this young lady would always show up to pick him up. And he'd be like, oh, this is my wife. And she'd always play along, whatever. So I talked to my friend who works at one of those homes where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, he doesn't smoke weed. Doesn't have any weed. And no, he's never been married as far as we know, But yeah, there's one lady that he calls his wife. But he would come up with all kinds of stories and really good at them. And so I don't know if it was because of his special needs that he would come up with these elaborate stories or if he was just a good storyteller.
Sure.
But he was great. Sure. Yeah. But he was great to talk to, He was fun to talk to because he'd always have some kind of antic and
I remember Nacho I think he would just roll his eyes when it was time for him to sing. And
yeah. But he always had to he'd have to leave by a certain time.
Yeah.
So we'd let him, D would always say, hey, let him sing as much as he wants until he has to go. So, and we did.
He would just sit there and I think buy pop or whatever. And
yeah, well, I don't think he can drink. Yeah. But he would talk about his hardcore days, back in the day. And it sounds like most of that was just bullshit. Go ahead, pick away, man.
Itches.
Picker and a grinner.
My nose itches. There's a few people like that. They come in, they just buy pop and sing their one or two songs, and then it's time for them to go.
Yeah, and there's a few of those.
They don't sing
nowadays that they won't let in. They're like, if you're not a good singer, and that's not. I'm not saying this particular bar, but I've seen it at other places. If you're not a good singer and you're not entertaining, and you're not making us any money, don't come on karaoke night because we gotta pay for someone to do the show,
right?
And pay the licensing fees, because the bars I play at, as far as I know, they all do, but I know for sure some of them do, and that's not cheap. They're like $3,000 a year per service
for just the license to have the karaoke music.
For licensing to have live music, yeah.
Oh, so yeah, like the bar has to have a license to be able to entertain.
Correct. Yeah, if they're making money from the entertainment, they have to have.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it goes by capacity, but the minimum I think is $3,000 per company, and there's three companies that look for that. So, and it's one of those gray areas that makes me nervous sometimes in the business, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a few people where they're like, nope, you can't be here if you're not gonna.
It's too bad they've had to resort to that, but they don't really have a choice,
right?
Well,
because otherwise you end up with a group of people that'll come in and drink dollar sodas,
right,
and want to sing all night. Well, when I was out in Boston, the bars that I went to hang out in, you had to spend at least $20 before you could sing. Not before, but
yeah,
you had to be known to go in there. So if someone came in and said, "I want water," well, you can't sing because we're here to make money, and it's kind of a harsh stance, but when you got that many people, you can't.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't make a living that way.
No.
You know, pay your employees and keep the lights on.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Sure.
it's just funny because you know the crowds. You know, like I think tomorrow night, I've never been to this place, and they don't know what to expect. They've talked to me before. I shot them a price, and they turned it down. So I told them the price tomorrow, and I said, this is the price I'll do it for. And I said, what do you pay your current guy? And they said, well, that, maybe a little more depending on if he stays later or whatever. And she goes, I'm really glad that you're not screwing me because it's last minute. And I said, that's not the way I am. I'd rather get my foot in the door, show you what I got.
Absolutely.
And then you can pay me more later.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
But a lot of times they go in and they look at me, I look like a biker. They expect classic heavy rock, you know, fuck you music, whatever. And I throw everything out there. If the crowd's not reacting to something, I'll throw something else out. And usually I'll talk to the wait staff ahead of time and go, what kind of music do they like here? Are they a country bar?
That's a good idea.
Is this a pop bar? You know, I mean, most of the bars around here are country bars or southern rock.
Yeah.
You know, so most stuff I've got covered. Especially now that, you know, throwing some Chris Stapleton in the mix.
Yeah.
So
how did you get started in karaoke? How many years? First, how many years have you been doing this, and how did you get started with karaoke?
12 years I've been doing this now, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, somewhere in there. But so it all started. I helped Big Nacho. Started with us going out one night and meeting Big Nacho at Woody's, singing with him, and then he had knee surgery one summer and couldn't lift the equipment. So he asked if I would just run the show at Barefoot Bar. So I'm like, sure. And he gave me a set amount, and then the rest was his. And by the end of the season, I was like, why am I not doing this myself?
Right.
And so I bought a really old, shitty set of equipment that I just sold 6 months ago, finally. But it got me started. And I bought CDs, because back then I had to use CDs. So I bought, I don't even know, 100 and some disc set of CDs and started that way. And God, it was I never step on his toes.
Right.
So if it's somewhere that Nacho's a regular at, I won't approach him because that's his place. And I do that with everybody. You know, playing at Bucks, I didn't go there intending to take over from the other guy's spot. It so happened he had been there 20 some years and ran its course, you know. And so,
well, I think they wanted to change a scene.
They did. Well, that's what I mean, because it was the same
clientele.
songs all the time.
And
that's my theory that I keep telling them, because they get a little mad sometimes, because Jesse does more new music and rap music.
Yeah.
And the owner sometimes is like, I don't like that shit. Well, but your son's friends and your son who's bartending now, his friends like that shit.
They do.
So,
right.
So we've got the guy who was before me catered to the crowd who's now at the VFW because they're that age.
Yeah.
So they go to the VFW and that's where he plays. That's cool with me, whatever. I still cater to most of the people there because they're the owner's age. So they're that age group of people, which is a little about my age, a little older. But so they still like the 70s, some newer stuff, some older stuff. But then we've got Jesse, who caters to the younger people who are starting to come in. So I feel we're a good mix of two people to play there because it hits a pretty broad spectrum of people. I try to learn some of the new music, but it's shit. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like the new music. So that's why all of a sudden I found stuff like Chris Stapleton and all that, because I consider him, you know, everyone says he's like old country. I consider him almost a rebel country sound.
Kind of.
You know?
Yep.
So I would be totally cool with being in a band with that kind of music.
Right.
Merle Haggard, Chris Stapleton, Johnny Cash, you know, maybe some Willie Nelson, or whatever.
Yeah.
But rocking it up a little bit, so it's not just twangy country; it's southern rock, you know, or something.
Right.
Giving it a little more edge.
Right. You know, modern country is
Shit.
a lot like, well, it has its roots in 70s rock.
Right.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
it's not a country song. It's a rock.
Yeah, and I didn't have a
sound.
problem with current country. Other than it's country. I don't like country. And I always say that. I don't like country. But the problem I have is when people like, was it Luke Bryan?
Yeah.
Who said some shit about Merle Haggard?
Yeah.
That pissed me off. And I
Right.
like Luke Bryan, but I didn't like that comment. And he never really, he tried to retract it, but it wasn't sincere.
Yeah, I never really
I don't
have
mind.
liked it. And there's a couple songs that
I
are
don't mind
catchy,
this
and I
song,
catch
yeah.
myself singing, kind of like, but
Right,
I'm not a big Luke Bryan fan.
right. I think he's all right, but so yeah.
So anyhow, you've been doing karaoke for 12
A
years.
long time, yeah.
And how many songs do you think you have, and how much do you have access to?
I don't know.
I mean, somebody requests a song you don't have, you just go out and download it, right? If you
I
can
buy
find
it if it's available.
if it's
Yeah.
available, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, and most of them they're about $3 a song. You know, somewhere in
Yeah.
there. Some of them are a little more. Some of them are. If they're an old song, some of them you'll find for $2, whatever. But they're $2.99 to $3.99 per song. So
what venue is your favorite?
venue
Yeah, where's your favorite? place
anywhere
to-
new.
Yeah.
Um,
Whatever your regular rotation, do you have a favorite? I know you go to quite a few different.
it'd have to
places.
be Bucks only because I can walk home from there when I'm drinking. I mean, and the people know me there, so they know what songs I can sing well, and
Yeah.
they do good requests
Yeah.
there. I like singing at the Barefoot Bar, but you don't get to sing as often there because
Right,
it's so busy. I go up to wherever the hell it is up in Minnesota,
Walnut Grove.
Walnut Grove, and I like it there because they'll just have me sing all night if I want to. If I don't want to, I don't have to. But if they have no singers,
Yeah.
I can still pack the house there just from me singing. People will come there and listen to me sing.
Crazy.
And I'm okay with, I don't want to be cocky and big-headed about it, but I'm okay with that. If
Right.
if they want to hear me sing, then I'm going to give them something to listen to.
So you do sing okay.
I'm all right. I don't know if we talked about that on our one podcast or not. But, so many people tell me I should go on The Voice.
Oh yeah, yeah. We talked about that.
But did I talk about me going on it?
Oh,
How
I don't
people
know.
want me to go on it, and I'm like, I don't want the letdown. I don't want to sing my ass off, and then have them go, yeah, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And when I listen to some of this other shit that makes it through and go, blech, you got to be kidding me. So, and I don't like people. I don't want to be around that many people waiting to sing 30 seconds.
Right.
And I don't know. I listen to a lot of people around here. They're like, oh, I'm going on The Voice. And they go on and they sing the same fucking songs they sing at karaoke. And it's like, this isn't karaoke, people. This is you singing live.
Right.
And you need to pick a song that they're not going to expect to come out of your mouth.
Right.
Or you're not. They don't care.
Right.
They hear thousands, tens of thousands of people
Yep.
singing the same shit.
Yeah. If you're gonna sing one of those songs, you have to be very good.
Even that anymore. I mean,
And sometimes it's
on the Voice, different than America's Got Talent, but on the Voice, you're not going to make it singing Mariah Carey or singing Whitney Houston because everybody sings it. I don't care if you can sound just like her. They don't care anymore. They've heard the song a million times.
right.
It's kind of like, if you've seen Walk the Line, right, the movie,
Oh yeah.
where he talks about you hear the same people singing the same old songs, different ways. They don't care. They want to hear someone sing a song that's different.
Yep.
That's way different,
Yeah.
And I had an idea years ago. I'm like, I could go on there and throw like 3 genres together into one song. And some lady tried to do that, and they're like, that sounded terrible. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I won't do that. Because she wasn't horrible. She wasn't a great singer, but she wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But they just said, don't try to come on here and show these 3 different genres. It just didn't work.
You ever get into a place and like you're like one and done? You're like, I am never going back there.
No, I don't think
No?
so. No, the only time I would do that would be if the clientele was bad.
Yeah.
So there is a bar that I might go back to only because I don't want someone else to get in there.
Yeah.
But every time I went there, there was a fight. And one time I started it.
Ha!
So I didn't start it on purpose, but I was carrying my shit out. It was after the show, carrying my shit out. Had one book left in there. So I got my check, got my book, walking out the door, and this guy looks back at me and moves right into my way with his back turned to me. But he literally looked and saw me coming, spread his legs out, and blocked the path. And I said, excuse me, I'm trying to get by. And he looked back at me and didn't move. So I said, sir, trying to get through. I'd like to get out of here. Didn't say a word. So I went, either you fucking move or I'm going to fucking move you. And he didn't move. So I said, I can do this shit all fucking night. And I pushed him out of the way and out the door I went. That guy just went off on somebody else and
Really?
started a fight. Yeah, I think he was probably out there looking for a fight. So I just triggered it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we can do this all night. Get out of my fucking way. Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Dickhead.
So, yeah. So, in that bar, I was just seeing a lot of fights there.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's their fault. It's just the town.
Right.
They go redneck crazy.
So do you prefer bars or do you prefer doing like weddings and
that's tough.
reception type events?
I like going to karaoke and singing.
Yeah.
Doing weddings and things like that. They always make me nervous because you never know the crowd. You don't know if like this last one. She said no participation dances, period.
Mm-hmm.
No Cupid Shuffle, no YMCA, nothing like that. That is part of what we play. I mean, if there's no one on the dance floor, you throw that out there, people come.
Right.
Absolutely not. I mean, I even asked her, I think it was her sister requested. I said, you need to talk to the bride, because she said no. Nope. Not playing it. Okay. So I'm not playing it. But that dance floor was packed.
So did she mean like no father-daughter dance?
No. Just no group participation dances like that.
Like the Macarena?
Right. Nope. None of that stuff. None of that line dance shit on purpose. So I said, what if I play old-time rock and roll? Somebody's made a dance to that song. She's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. But it's the standard, whatever, group dances that she doesn't
want any of that shit.
Nope. She's like, you see him at every wedding. We don't want to see him here. All right, perfect, whatever. But, sometimes you get that, and it's going to fail.
Yeah.
People will not dance. And what I always tell the bride is, if you're not on the dance floor, nobody else wants to be on the dance floor. Because people want to be talking to you guys. And that's where they talk to you. So, I'm going to sit here and read the crowd the best I can, play the music the best I can. It just might not work sometimes.
Do they ever do karaoke at weddings?
I don't recommend it, but some do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with that, I will do 3 karaoke songs and then play music. Because generally speaking, the karaoke songs that people like to sing at weddings are really slow.
Yeah.
Love songs. They don't care to do the funny drunk songs that most people do. So
chocolate salty balls.
Right. Yeah. Or they want to sing songs about breaking up or infidelity or whatever. And I'm like, we're not doing that here. Sorry. You're not going to, Lips of an Angel shit here.
3 Sheets to the Wind by Kid Rock.
Right. My favorite song by him, I wish they made for karaoke, and they don't. And it's She's Half Your Age is Twice as Hot. I just love that song. That's like one of his first country album songs, But yeah, so I very rarely do I do. Now this wedding last weekend I did, they asked that my friend sing a song to start the party out. So he sang Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up. Fucking kicked ass at it. And then him and his wife asked if they could do When I Say I Do. Slow song, whatever. So, yep, they got to sing that. So then I sang later. You know, we just spread these all out because the two we did were slow songs. But I sang that "There You Go, Making Me Look Good Again." I can't remember the artist's name, but Chris something, I think. But when I got done with that, everyone's jaws were just on the floor. And my friend came up to me. He's like, "I don't know where you pull that from, but that was perfect." You know, and so I once in a while I'll do that. But generally speaking, I don't. Like I did a wedding a couple years ago, and some guys the groom came up to me. "I heard you do AC/DC." Fuck. You know, I'm like, "Yeah, I do," you know, whatever. He's like, "You got to do one." So I yelled across the mic, and I found out what table it was. It's people who know me from Bucks.
Yeah.
And I said, "Just so you know, I expect a tip for this." You know, I said that to the table, not to the bride and groom. And someone came up and gave me $10 or whatever. But so that's one thing, you know, when I was drinking, which I will be January 1st, I always tell people, you want me to sing you a song that you want, you buy me a shot. And I get so many people that are like, you know, I can't come out tonight. I don't have any money. So work it. You're a good singer.
Right.
You're a good performer. You sing a good song. I'm going to tell people, hey, this guy just did awesome. Why doesn't somebody buy him a drink? Some drunk will go, "Oh, somebody wants a drink. I got a drinking buddy now." And they'll sometimes buy him 3-4 drinks. You know, every time. Because people aren't out there to be stingy. They're out there to have a good time.
Yeah.
If they're going to spend $4 for someone else to have a drink, they're going to do it.
I'm out there to be stingy.
Yeah, not once you get drunk. That's the thing. You know, you get to a certain point, you're just like, "Oh yeah, I'll buy one for me and my buddy."
I used to do that all the time.
Right. But I mean, even now, if you and I are out, you'll be like, "Hey, I'll get one," you know, and I'll get one, you know. And you find the right guy, he'll buy them for anybody.
Right.
So you just go up, "Hey, my buddy just sang a song. Wasn't that awesome? Oh yeah, it was great. Buy him a drink." "Oh, okay." You know, and so a friend of mine is that way with tits, and I can't do that. So he'll be like, you know, some girls will come up, "Oh, sing a song. Show me your tits." They'll do it. I can't ask for that. I just don't. I don't have that in me. But he'll just flat out say, "You want me to sing a song? Show us your tits." And all right, song it is. You know, and sometimes it'll be like, "Okay, now buy us a drink." And son of a bitch, they'll bring it up, you know.
I do requests for boobies.
Right. Well, I'll sing "Show 'Em to Me" by Rodney Carrington and don't get any. You know, it's terrible. Or one of my favorites thing, I Like Big Tits by Joe Walsh.
Oh, yeah.
ILBT. Never get to see him. I mean, now that I'm married, I don't need to see him. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But
say no more, say no more.
Right.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Did you see that review I posted about the Bridges Bay? I posted it earlier this week, and somebody said that there's a big black water snake going through the pool, all this shit. So we were talking about it. I posted the thing from Full Metal Jacket. It says probably an Alabama black snake. And I was gonna put in. It was a TripAdvisor review that they had. That 1 star, blah blah blah. And the manager's rebuttal was awesome.
Yeah,
very professional, but yet threw it right back in their face. But I was going to put a comment on there, too.
We don't have black water snakes in Iowa.
Right. But I was just going to say, I saw a big black snake in there, too. He was about 6'6". Just let it go and see what happens. Tubuku! Tubuku! I'm a little Alabama black snake.
That's funny.
So tomorrow, new show. We'll see what happens. But I enjoy doing it, but I really, really hope I can get my financial shit together and be able to retire this year and not do karaoke all the time.
Yeah. Just stick to like weddings and...
I'll do those for maybe another year or two because I just bought new equipment. I'll probably just save the equipment and do it for when my kids get married. But I'd like to get it all together and just enjoy stuff. But, until I know how my job's going next year, all that stuff, I got to be careful what I cut out and what I don't.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I've had a couple guys in the area ask if I would want to hire them as DJs and do that. And I'm like, I don't know. Are you good? Do you really know what you're doing? Will you work 4 hours for $20 an hour, or 8 hours for $20 an hour, whatever it comes out to be.
Right.
I have a tough time with that. To me, $20 an hour ain't shit to do it, because I know how much all the stuff costs, but they're not buying it, and
Right.
So
you'd almost have to insure it if you're.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're gonna. I don't know.
I'd have to change a lot of stuff about business. Yeah.
Arrangement is with Jesse, but your stuff is like there,
right,
for the most part.
Yep.
And
I've got backup stuff if need be.
Right.
So.
But if you're actually going to hire employees and
right, have taxes and all that shit
right,
to worry
then
about.
you really have to worry about that sort of the business.
Right.
That'd probably take more time than if you were just doing karaoke yourself.
Right. But I could also be doing multiple shows a night.
True.
Maybe not here.
True.
But
well, over Winter Games, you did 3 or 4 shows that one
I
night.
won't be doing that again, ever.
Yeah, so it'd probably be very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but we just don't have the market here.
Yeah.
To pull in big bucks like that. I mean, even Sioux Falls. I've got a friend who's got the business in Sioux Falls. He does well there, but he's got a bigger market. We don't have big meetings and all that stuff here that I can have a DJ go in and run the sound system for. Not necessarily DJing, but run a sound system for.
Right.
We don't have it here.
Right.
I'd have to travel a couple hours every direction.
What's the furthest you've ever gone for to put on a karaoke show?
Oh, karaoke?
Or a DJ. Either one.
Karaoke not far. But DJ, I just did my friend's, I call her my niece, and that was like 4 hours north. Yeah. Well, okay. Furthest I ever did a karaoke show was Bemidji? Something like that. Way the fuck up north in Minnesota.
You took your stuff and went up there.
In the black van, yeah. And got up there and my fucking fuel pump went out.
Nice.
Yeah. And back then I didn't have shit for money.
Yeah.
Didn't have any credit cards, no money. So I borrowed money from my ex-mother-in-law to get it replaced. And my company paid for a rent-a-car so I could get home and back and to my job site and back until the van was done. But then I had to drive back up there, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever the fuck it is from here, to go pick it up. It was a long way.
Yeah, Bemidji's a good 6.
Yeah, it was a long ways.
Because Brainerd's just over 5.
Yeah.
And Bemidji's another 45 minutes from there. So.
But that was, oh my God, that was a weekend to forget. To remember, but to forget.
Yeah.
So this guy, small consulting company, it was his last big party because he hired an accountant who said, "You're not doing this anymore." So he hired for the entire weekend, rented out the entire resort. And it was in the fall, so it wasn't the resort's busy season.
Right.
Hired a comedian / spokesperson for the weekend. So it started out Friday night, the guy sitting around a bonfire, playing guitar, doing whatever. The owner of the company was buying me Captain Morgan Cokes by the coffee pot.
Holy shit.
So he was just bringing out a coffee pot with a straw, or his assistant was, and said, "Here you go. Have at it." And
Keep doing what you're doing.
Drank 5 coffee pots. God. No, that was just us sitting around the bonfire.
Oh,
that wasn't
God.
even a karaoke night. That was just us sitting around the bonfire. But the comedian guy playing guitar, he's like, "Hey, I got some bongos. Who wants to play bongos?" "I will." Nobody else wanted to. Got out there, started playing bongos. And, there's one other guy. They're supposed to do, I don't even remember what it was. They're supposed to do some contest. And the guy, drunk, and this is a consultant, right? And he actually got a little bit of flack for this. But since we were all together, it wasn't so bad. But he said he's going to do a magic trick. So he had tan khaki pants on. Takes a big glass of water, starts drinking it, and pisses his pants at the same time. That was his magic trick.
Oh my God.
And everyone's like, dude, that's really fucking gross. But they gave him a prize for it just for having the balls to do it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it
That's
was pretty
awful.
nasty. But the way the owner of the company started this whole shindig out, we did a little meet and greet before anything Friday night, right? In this convention center. And he takes a big pitcher of water and he acts like he's talking to some guy in the bathroom and forgets the mic's on, and he's pouring this pitcher of water in the urinal for like 3 minutes. He just keeps pouring and pouring and pouring like he's pissing that long and talking to this guy the whole time. And he's like, oh, this thing's on? You know, and he comes out and starts talking. But that's how he opened it. But this place, it was incredible because you go there and he's got this nice big conference table that he talks to the clients with. Then he's got a huge bar filled with everything. So when the clients come, they sit there and drink wine or have a cocktail or whatever. That's how he would schmooze the clients.
Right.
Get them a little loose, they'll accept more stuff. Snacks, food, whatever you want. He had this whole thing full of... You take that table, this meeting table, the top splits in half. It's a pool table.
Nice.
So they get a little loose, meeting's over, start playing some pool, start putting some wagers. You know, I mean, he had it down.
Yeah.
But he liked to spend money.
Yeah.
And that's what got him in trouble. And they're still around. The company's still around. But
Huh.
that's what got him in trouble was that spending money. And so I remember I was working at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, and all of the other consultants for my company were staying in the hotel that was $180 a night, downtown, nice joint. I stayed in a Comfort Inn and Suites or something, little economy room right next to the elevator.
Yeah.
$49 a night.
Huh.
And they're like, why don't you come stay here? I said, all I want is a bed.
Right.
I leave work, I go out, I come home to go to sleep, go back to work. I don't spend time in the room, so
Right.
I don't care. I just want a bed. You know?
It'd been nice if you got the difference.
Right, yeah. But, you know, I'm like, $49, and it's 2 miles from work. You guys got a 20-minute drive.
Right.
But they could go out and party all night and just stumble their way back because they were downtown.
Oh, all the bars.
Me, well, it was a little different for me.
I fucking drive.
Oh, man.
I've had too many nights coming home from karaoke.
Stupid shit.
Not so much anymore.
Right.
You know, well, I'm so afraid of getting caught.
Right.
You know, but that's the thing with karaoke. I like to be a little lubed up when I'm singing karaoke, so I like to get a few in me.
Yep.
And I don't know. I'm just getting old, I guess. I get a few in me, and I'm like, I don't want to sing.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. That's when
And
I
I
start
don't-
doing the stupid shit.
So
That's when I get more animated. So I've won 4 karaoke contests in other states, and they were all in the state of inebriation.
yeah,
But I took 4th in one in Brookings, South Dakota, and that was still enough to get a pretty good prize. So I won a TV, and this lady, she was a lesbian, and she's like, I don't have a TV. Could I trade you this TV that you won for whatever I win? I'm like, I don't care. I got 3 TVs at home. I don't need another TV. I was just going to sell it. So, yeah, I'll do that. And they said, yep, no problem. She wins a car full of beer. So they literally take and fill your car with cases of beer until it won't fit anymore. What? So I told him, I said, I appreciate that. I had a Honda Civic. I'm like, I appreciate that, but I don't like beer. And they're like, how about, I don't remember how much it was, $100. How about $100? Okay, I'll take the cash. And away I went.
jeez.
And I looked, she had herself and 4 passengers, and she had just a little hatchback. And this was a big TV.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a little 20-inch thing. It was a big TV. So I watched them leave, because I was leaving at the same time. Her passenger, 3 people in the back, and this TV tied, it's in a box, tied to the hatchback with the hatch wide open, and she had to drive to Sioux Falls that way from Brookings.
Holy shit.
With this hatchback hanging wide open with a TV hanging out of it.
Oh, my God.
But she got what she wanted,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lesbians got to have their TV.
Right.
If we know anything about lesbians, it's they got to have their TV.
Hey, they like porn too.
Well, what are you going to watch it on? TV.
Right. Now, my phone. But, yeah, so I've won a few, and usually I'm really lubed up, and I tend to go Thunderstruck because when I'm drunk singing Thunderstruck, I don't look at the screen. I look at the people dancing, and I heckle them. I get them into it. I talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
When I'm sober, I close my eyes, don't look at the screen, but I close my eyes and sing. It's different. When I'm drunk, I'm just, everybody dance. Whoa. So, yeah. And then I won. Where was the other one I won one? Oh, the Red Eye in Sioux Falls. I've won a karaoke contest there twice. And both times I was drunk. But the last one I won, it came down to me and a black guy singing. We tied. So we both had to sing for the tiebreaker. And he sings whatever his song is. I don't remember. And so then I get up there and sing Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. And he jumps up and he goes, "That's my people's music." And I went, "That's how you win a karaoke contest." And I won. And so he came up, shook my hand, and I gave him everything but the gift card because I had to pay my tab.
Yeah.
It was 2 for 1 night. And so me and my friend Chris, who used to live here, went. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll drive." Son of a bitch. I had way too many twofers. And still drove home from Sioux Falls to here that night.
Damn.
But, after, I was smart about it. So we waited like an hour before we left. So after about a half hour, I was feeling okay anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so I gave him everything. There was more gift cards and prizes and all kinds of shit, stuff for other stuff in town, whatever. And so I just gave him all of it. I said, I was just here to have fun. I'm not coming back here. And now they don't do karaoke there anymore anyway. So
where in the hell was that even?
That's on your way to the airport, right when you turn off the airport.
Okay.
Turn off of the highway to go to the airport.
Yeah.
There's the Red Eye, and then there's a little hotel.
Okay.
Right there.
I've driven past it several times.
Millions of times. Yeah, they have like midget wrestling and mud wrestling and all that shit.
Now, midget wrestling is where it's at.
Yeah.
I would love to go see that.
They did that at the Beagle one time when it was the last time it was open, but they haven't done it since. They did it outside. They put the ring up outside in their parking lot.
Well, I remember like at 4 miles was miles.
Mm-hmm.
They had MMA in the back.
Oh, really?
They had
I could see that because they were a biker bar, right?
Yeah, and they had an octagon set up back there and all the lights. And I don't know how they fit very many people back there. There's not that
it's
many.
MMA. No one likes that shit anyway.
I love it.
Yeah, never watched it. Not my thing.
What is your thing? Fucker, you don't watch movies.
Big Bang Theory is my thing.
That's not a thing,
programming.
man.
I like to be on the computer programming.
They have movies on the computer. You can watch MMA on the computer.
Don't care. Same thing. Jesse thinks it's weird when I drive, radio's off. I drive, it's quiet because
that'd put me to sleep.
That's my thinking time. That's when my brain can shut off because all I have to do is drive.
I would be thinking about taking a nap.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about taking one right now.
Right. No, people laugh at me. So I drove from Denver to here.
Yeah.
I bought bananas, sunflower seeds. I did buy one Red Bull. I'll never do that again because they gave me the shakes.
One Red Bull?
Yeah.
God, you are a lightweight.
Gave me the shakes. Yep. So I drink caffeinated soda or water. Bananas keep me awake because they hurt your ass. And then sunflower seeds because your hands are always moving.
You got to watch for them bananas in your tailpipe.
All right. I know. I ain't going to fall for no banana in my tailpipe. But, yeah, so sunflower seeds because they keep your hand moving. That's all I had the entire trip.
I couldn't do it.
And I drove overnight. I flew all day. And then they said your next flight. I landed on a Thursday in Denver. Flight got canceled. They said your next flight's Sunday. No, it's not. Give me a car. And I drove home. Well, drove to Sioux Falls, got my car, and then drove home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I got to Sioux Falls before the next flight to Sioux Falls would have landed.
Yeah.
Because it would have been the next day.
Yeah. That wouldn't be such a bad drive.
The only thing that, because you're driving in the dark, don't know shit about where you're going. You know, you have your GPS, but you don't know shit about where you're going.
Right.
So that gets a little nerve-wracking because you have no clue. You know, you're in the mountains and shit. You don't know what's going on. But yeah. I saw the worst traffic accident I'd ever seen in my life. And it was on the other side of the highway. I've never been able to find it in the news. But a semi hit another semi in the back, and there was nothing left of that trailer.
Wow.
And part of the tractor. And the only thing I could think of, because I wanted to find out what happened. You, on the freeway, how do you hit somebody that hard?
Right.
And the only thing I could think of is the one truck was coming off of the way station or rest stop, whatever it was. There was something up there.
Yeah.
Were coming off, and the other one wasn't paying attention and just fucking rammed right into him.
Wow. Because
there was nothing left.
Wow.
And they were working on some guy in the ditch. Damn. He was not in his truck.
Damn.
But yeah, nothing. That trailer was gone, and about half of the truck. So I and I still have never found out because I didn't know where the hell I was.
Yeah.
I don't know what interstate I was on. I was somewhere in Nebraska.
You were on 80.
I was headed north, so I'm not sure.
North?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is curvy, but you don't.
Yeah, it wasn't 80. It was before I got to 80.
Oh.
So maybe I wasn't quite in Nebraska.
Yeah, you must have been still in Colorado.
So that's it. I don't know where I was, so I don't know how to find that accident. But it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy accident.
How long did it take you to drive it?
10 hours.
It's not bad.
No, when I went with the kids, it was 10 hours. It wasn't bad. Except on the way back when Sioux Falls got nailed with this blizzard that left 2 inches of ice on 90. That sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got to the Corn Palace and creeped home from there, like 15 miles an hour. Bumper to bumper traffic all the way to Sioux Falls.
That would suck.
That sucked a lot. But originally we were just going to take the minivan. And I said, it's winter. Could end up with some weather. We'll rent a 4-wheel drive car. So we got a 4-wheel drive Suburban, or not a Suburban, like an Explorer.
Yeah.
So I was glad I got that for that part of the trip. Sucked. Colorado was beautiful. Sioux Falls, suck. Same storm hit them both.
Kind of flat.
Yeah, it's kind of like that anyway. Although, when I drove home that one time, so I went up north and kind of came in through just east of the Badlands.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun was coming up. There was snow on the ground and steam coming out of the river. That was a hell of a cool sight. It was just beautiful. I came into this valley, and it was just steam coming off the water, snow.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Sunrise, the whole bit.
Kind of thing that makes you want to pull over and masturbate.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get home.
Yeah.
I
probably would have pulled over.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get home. And the whole night, I texted and talked to my friend Steph. She was awake too, and for a while I was texting. The car would read the text to me,
mm-hmm.
and then it would say, "Do you want to respond?" Yes. Talk your text back, and it would send it. So hands-free texting.
Yeah.
I'm sure sometimes it spelled stuff wrong. I couldn't tell. I didn't have my phone in my hand. But she understood it, and it would read it back to me, so I never had to look at the phone. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then finally she's like, "Can I just call you?" I'm like, "Sure." So we talked for a few hours, kept me awake and talked about general shit.
No, I like to, when I travel for work or or in my vehicle, or I like to turn up the tunes.
Yeah.
The only difference is if I've got, if we are going, my wife and I, or my wife and her parents, I usually don't have the radio on, but my co-pilot's usually asleep.
Right.
So that's my quiet time in the van.
Yeah.
But
I get a lot of thinking done.
If I'm alone, I just crank the music.
Yeah. Never been that way.
So
I love music, but I just don't. That's my thinking time. Like, even when I was going through shit, I had a Mustang 5-speed. Never turn the radio on. I would just drive up to the north side of Big Spirit, that straight ass road. Just put the hammer down, man. Fast as I could, no tunes, nothing. Just boom, aggression out.
Yeah.
So,
what's the first song you ever sang at karaoke?
Bryan Adams. Everything I do it for you. From Robin Hood.
At
You?
Woody's.
Nope. Sang that in the cities. Christmas party. My now ex-wife's Christmas party. And I probably did horribly. I don't know, because I can't sing Bryan Adams worth of shit.
I thought that your first time was at Woody's that night.
No, I sang one song before that, probably 7 years prior.
Oh.
And that was it ever.
My first karaoke song was Baby's Got Her Blue Jeans On.
Right. I love when you
Mel
sing that song.
McDonald.
I
Mel
love when you
McDaniel.
sing that song.
Down at what used to be the pub in Milford.
Yep.
And I don't even think it's a bar anymore. I
think it's just empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they tried to bring it back, and then...
Yeah.
Because the Office does karaoke down there now again.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I haven't been in there since that was Elmer and Gibbs.
Yeah. So, so my first one here was it's one of two songs. It was either Creed. I don't even remember what song by Creed. I'd have to look up their catalog. But it was either a Creed song or it was Hanging by a Moment from Lifehouse. Is that Lifehouse?
Yeah.
Hanging by a moment here
That's them.
with you.
I think it was Creed.
It was one of the two, because I sang both those songs that night.
Higher.
It might have been. I don't know if it was Higher.
No?
It might have been. Either Higher or the one about having a son. It talks about having a son.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I still remember I sang my first song, and I sat back down, and you were inebriated. I wasn't allowed to drink back then, because I was still with my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And you went, "That motherfucker can sing!"
I wasn't lying.
I just fucking lost it.
That motherfucker can sing.
Yeah, I remember that specifically. And I remember singing one time. I did Hootie and the Blowfish at Woody's. And I was dating somebody else then. And a friend of mine who sang in Storm Dogs. I didn't know him then. I didn't know who he was.
Oh, Scotty.
Scotty, yeah. And he came up to me and he's like, "Dude, you are an amazing singer." And I had heard him sing many times.
Right.
And to me, that was like one of the best compliments I could ever get, because I've heard this guy sing. He could sing anything, And
I always
him to
liked
tell me.
I always liked his rendition of "All Right Now."
Mm-hmm.
God, I remember.
Yeah. I sing that pretty well, but
that band wasn't always the Storm Dogs, though, was it? It was something different.
I don't know.
First, I don't remember the
Two
name.
for One. No, that was his band afterwards.
Yeah, maybe it was the Storm Dogs. I remember seeing them.
They're still around. Storm Dogs are still around.
Right, just not with him.
One guy. Well, no, there's one guy who is the Storm Dogs.
Oh.
And he's rotated. I mean, just about everybody in this
Was he
town.
just piss everybody off, or?
I think people just change, you know. Because the guy Doug, who used to play guitar for me, he played with them. Another guy who works at Polaris, he used to play for them. Everyone I know has been part of that band for a time.
But I remember watching him. Well, I saw them several times, like Outback and Sal's.
Yeah.
Back when Sal's was like Mayfair. It was Mayfair.
I don't even know
and
what
then it was
Sal's is.
Well, it's Paradise now.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
Paradise.
Never known it as Sal's.
So it was probably Sal's then. Because
Where the hell did they play there?
In the corner.
Jesus.
Well, have you ever you've been in the Outback and you've been in Paradise? They're the same.
Pretty close, yeah.
Right.
I'd say Outback's bigger though, isn't it?
Because the guy that started Mayfair sold it to Sal, came to Milford and built the Outback.
Really?
They're the exact same bar.
No shit. Outback seems bigger.
Maybe a little. The dimensions might be a little bit different, but it is the exact same bar.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
So
same side entrances and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Never paid attention to that.
Now you know.
Now I know.
A little history. A lot of history around here people don't know or have forgotten.
Right.
But I have no idea if it's being recorded or...
Well, I've got, up on top of my electrical box there, I've got a nail from one of the cabins, not Abby Gardner's cabin, but her brother's cabin, maybe?
Huh.
Something like that. My neighbor had, they had commissioned him to take some of these down before it was a historical site.
Right.
And so he kept all the wood.
Right.
And he just got rid of it not too long ago. We had all this 100-plus-year-old wood that was still sturdy as fuck.
Yeah.
And he kept all the nails and shit out of it because he does blacksmithing.
Sure.
So, no, it's not sure. But pretty cool.
Sure.
Pretty cool shit to see those old handmade square nails.
Right, right. You could probably do a podcast or a series of podcasts on Lake's history. Right. And start digging into, like, the old stuff. Because, I mean, I know just, like, the stuff I know.
Right.
Like...
But what you don't know
But what
amazing.
I don't know is crazy, right? But, like... So, we had some consultants in a week and a half ago, last week, and we went to the Okoboji store for lunch. And so I was explaining to them that it used to be a Kentucky Fried Chicken. They're like, no way.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yeah, but it's on the other side of the street, right?
Across the road on the west side was the wharf.
Yeah.
And that was where the Okoboji store is now was a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then there were some buildings back behind there in an L shape where there was a bar in there called Sal's.
Another Sal's or same guy?
Or not Sal's. It was called, no, not Sal's. Lou's.
Okay.
So, this is all tied together. So, Parks bought that property, except for the Kentucky Fried Chicken, because the wharf owned it, or acquired it when they widened the highway, because they had to tear down the original wharf.
Gotcha.
And then that the KFC turned into the wharf.
Right.
Then Parks finally bought it. All right. Now,
Parks or Mao?
Mao, sorry.
Because I want to know how that turned out.
No. So, okay, so it was Mao.
Yep.
Then the buildings behind it, where Lou's was, and there was a couple other businesses in there, like little shops or whatever, they moved that entire building. And it sits by Casey's in Okoboji now, north of the Harley shop.
Okay.
Where Reby is.
Yep.
That used to sit behind the old KFC.
No shit.
And yeah, so Lou, you ever go down the Ritz for a Lou burger?
Yeah. No shit.
That's it.
Huh. I've never had one, but I've heard of them.
They're fucking delicious. I don't know what they do with it.
Let's go tomorrow and have lunch.
See what I got going on tomorrow.
Oh, yesterday you said today or tomorrow works, so.
Yeah. Let's see what the wife's doing. I'll take her.
All right. Yeah, I've never had one.
Their burgers are fantastic.
I've had a burger. I've never had the Lou burger.
Yeah. Well, it's just any burger, but with whatever toppings you want on it. Their burgers are good.
Yeah.
They're good burgers.
I want to try their award-winning burger. Doesn't they have some burger that's like ridiculously huge?
I don't know.
I think so.
So that's where
I saw people taking pictures with the big cock yesterday.
That's where the big chicken.
The big cock.
The big cock. So that's where a Lou burger comes from. Lou owned Lou's Lounge.
Right.
And they had burgers and shit there. Really good burgers. And then for a while, I don't know if she's even still around, but for a while she cooked at the Ritz.
Huh.
And that's how they came about the whole Lou burger.
Oh, so Lou is a woman.
Lou is a woman.
Cool.
Lue.
All right.
So I don't know if that was short for something.
I'd be curious because I don't know. I know there's huge history with the O'Farrell sisters.
Right, and that's even before my time.
Well, they've been around forever.
Right, and it's been the O'Farrell sisters forever.
Yeah.
And
the last sister worked for Parks for a little bit to get the restaurant, or last cousin maybe or something, right?
No, it was the last sister because she just recently passed away.
Yeah.
The original
The last one, yeah.
The last one. But they had sold it long before that.
Right. But she always stayed around to cook and stuff, right? Or something,
right.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. So then, like, the hut. You know where the hut is.
Mm-hmm.
It sits by a building in Arnold's Park, up on the hill.
Yep, that was Godfather's.
It was Godfather's. Yep. You know that. The hut, for a while, was a little sports bar or whatever.
Yep.
Back in the day, it was a place called Mother Nature's.
Right.
And it was owned by a guy named Bruce Pfluger.
No shit.
Pfluger owned that? Or Steve Pfluger. Okay. His brother Bruce owned a bar and restaurant out on the west side of Westlake called the Back Porch. And you know, out in Wapaton, there's that triangle. It's like a dog park area.
I'm not
right?
Sure, I guess.
Real close to the water tower.
Okay.
It's like if you're coming from the south, you go straight and go up into Wapaton, or you can turn from the north. It's a little triangle.
Right.
It used to sit right there.
Really?
Yeah. So he got out of the restaurant business. He sold the building because Bruce owned the Regal Beagle as well.
Right. And the properties attached.
Right.
Were they called Stretch? No. Was it?
So then they moved the Back Porch building. And it's now the Dickens County Nature Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that just
neat stuff.
Little information tidbits about how shit changes around here.
Yeah.
Because like even the El Perion Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly a house.
Yeah.
It was somebody's house at one point.
It still is.
Yeah, I think
a bunch of people live above it. Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, I know. I've seen them. Yeah.
Anyhow, that was out on the west side of the lake as well.
Really?
They moved that there. Yeah.
Huh. Because that was a different restaurant before El Perion.
It's been several over the years.
Yeah.
There was earliest in my remembrance was the Black Coach, which there was a Black Coach in Hartley, and I don't know if that's still there or open at all. And then that closed, and then it was like the Aardvark for a while.
I remember that. Yeah.
You remember the Aardvark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was right when I moved here.
I left them like a 13-cent tip one time.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
What's the town south of Milford? I always forget the name of the town. Fostoria. So there was the Iron Horse? Or the Black Horse. It was one of those two. Now it's like a garage. It's just a garage.
Yeah, no, that was a great restaurant too. They had really good food.
They had really good food there. I still don't know how they didn't make it other than location.
Yeah.
Because I loved their food.
I don't know if their sales went down when the highway got moved. Or what?
Yeah,
because when they put in the 4-lane, they went
right, but a
little further east.
I wouldn't say it was moved that far. It was still visible and had more parking.
Maybe they just got tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing I could think of too is nobody from the Lakes wanted to drive that far. Nobody from Spencer wanted to drive that far.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but
the gun range is doing awesome there. I mean, shit, they got a lot of business. I still haven't been there.
Pew pew pew.
My ex-wife has her permit.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary shit.
Yeah. So, so tonight's podcast was all about pure randomness because we didn't have a topic.
Well, we kind of stuck to a couple. We had karaoke and then Little Lakes history.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't anything planned like we've tried to do in the past. This wasn't planned either. I got booked tomorrow night, so we're like, let's try it tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Let's pop a bunch of pills and start talking.
All right.
Pop a bunch of bills.
Yeah. I said I'm not drinking for the year. I didn't say anything about that.
That takes some $100 bills.
Right. No shit. That's why I did.
Let's pay a bunch of bills and start talking.
That's what I did tomorrow night because I needed the money.
Motherfuckers broke. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So, but we'll be back next week.
Really hoping this podcast takes off so we can pay off my house.
Right, yeah. Well, I think if we can put some seriousness into that idea I told you today about with the pies, that'd be pretty tits up, man. I think that'd be a cool idea.
I think we can work on that.
So, do it in a couple phases. So
phase 1, take a nap.
Yeah, well, phase 1, don't talk about the details on a podcast.
Right.
So, all right, peace out, bitches. It's been an hour.
Peace out, bitches.
Her down.
We out.